back a brief early recap of last session. You headed into the forest, the old Massacring Forest, looking for the camp you had learned about where they had taken several captured wyverns. After a little bit of exploration, and a little bit of help from a friendly Robin, you were able to ascertain the whereabouts and find the camp that you were looking for. You knocked out a couple of the guards that were there. There seemed to be a very token force there at the moment. Most of them seem to be off elsewhere. Freed the 2 wyverns they had captured, and managed to discover a couple of letters as well as a little bit of gold and things that asked letters about. Giving you a little more details about the operations and things. Learning that the person in charge of the figure, Crowley, seemed like he would not be returning for a little bit of time. On learning this, you decided you didn't want to stick around, and you were going to press on to deal with a different issue. This ghostly undead figure that you have encountered in the past and have started to make efforts to track down again. And so you set off towards the elven city of Elihalion. You're about 2 days away. You set off fairly late in the day, so you've got a couple of hours of travel ahead of you before you return. Which is where we pick up, with everyone rolling a survival check for me.
Oh boy! I will survive.
Okay, roll 20 frames a second. It is done. +7, that's the best I can friggin' do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A 9, a 10, and a 14 from middling rolls.
Middling?
Yes.
I beg your pardon?
Well, the average is middling.
I am not average.
You are certainly extraordinary in many ways.
Thank you.
So, as you make your way through the forests, you reflect on the various events of the past couple of days, congratulating yourselves on the job well done in relatively non-lethally. There was one casualty in freeing several weapons and escaping unharmed. Stix and Neo riding along on their various mounts with Klari and Arwen. The weather has darkened a little bit as the sun being set and clouds come over, but it drops below the cloud line. You get these sort of dappling rays of sunlight coming through the branches. And as the sun begins to touch the horizon, that you start to hear and sense to the ground these enormous footfalls, heavy thudding, sending vibrations up the legs of the mount and through your body. You can hear it a ways ahead of you as you slowly walk through the forest. Pause for a moment and listen. It continues just slowly getting louder and louder. these vibrations getting stronger as whatever this immense thing is moves in your direction. And you can hear the creaking and groaning of trees and wood as it moves in your direction.
Do we know if it's coming from in front of us or behind us? Or
Yeah, it's
to the...
moving slightly off to the side, but sort of angling to cut across your path. So probably yes.
Okay.
With your woodcraft skills.
If it's angling to come across us and it's big, would it be best if we stop for a brief second and let it pass?
Yeah.
Not entirely sure I like the idea of coming across something very, very big.
Or hide behind a tree.
Yeah. Let's hide trees. Or behind trees. There are plenty of trees about.
Everyone make a stealth check then if you are attempting to hide.
Stealthy. I am the tree.
What is... can you also make one for elders, please? Stix.
Yes. And Elvis and the deck stealth. He's so slow, shooting.
16, a 25, and 2 9s.
Oh dear.
So as you guys, how are you attempting to hide? Arwen and Klari were the most successful. So how are you guys attempting to hide?
I am the tree.
Like a bad cartoon, just hold your arms up and hope it doesn't.
Well, I'll stand behind the tree.
Stand behind
I
it.
pick a really thick tree.
Okay, so you just try to go the opposite side.
Yeah. I'm still nosy.
I'd like to try and climb mine a little bit.
Oh god.
So we can potentially see just a little bit far ahead. Which is maybe why mine's a bit lower, because I'm spending a lot of the time, instead of trying to hide, just going on the other side of it and then trying to
Because you're now eye level with whatever it is.
Ah! It hasn't been toe level.
What about you, Klari?
I'm just gonna hide, behind a big tree, like.
So you guys right now, just visual sight of whatever this thing is.
Yeah.
And you pause for a few moments and wait and just listen quietly as this sound, where you can hear it crashing through the earth, moving towards you, and you start to see, off in the distance, the trees. You start to see the branches shifting and moving, and then as this movement gets a bit closer, you start to actually see some of the trees themselves shifting, away, a few hundred feet away, 100 feet or so, as far as you can see through the woods, you see the ground around the base of the trees cracking and shifting, and the trees themselves just slide through the earth, slide sideways through the earth, and coming slowly into your view is a creature with an enormous shell on its back. This huge tortoise-like creature.
Oh. So it's going to be a big snail.
Its shell is covered in moss and little plants and shoots, and there's even a small tree growing out of its back and things like that. It seems to have built up a certain amount of earth over time that covers it up. And this thing just slowly plods its way on these ginormous feet. And as it moves forwards, you can see these trees, for whatever reason, are sliding out of its path. And the creature just moves through, and then the tree moves back into place behind it. The earth sort of disturbed around its roots, almost ploughed up by the movement of the tree. But this thing just slowly moves through.
Well, that's terrifying. Well, that's cool, but
It's adorable!
I mean, something's got to be pretty powerful to be able to do that.
I would like to see if there's any baby ones lost in the woods so I can keep it.
As it's moving through, it kind of, its head sort of swinging, scanning from side to side. It reaches over and down, looks and reaches down, and sort of its mouth closes around a small bush and it just rips it wholesale out of the ground and starts chewing on it. And as it lifts its head back up, it looks in your general direction. And then there is, as you Stix in the tree make eye contact with it, there's a look of intelligence behind these eyes. It certainly doesn't seem... There is a knowing look from these eyes that it has seen you and it has recognised that you are there. But it lifts its head up again and turns back in the direction it's going and continues chewing and starts moving off. Now it's on its way past you.
Can I make a check to see if I know what this creature might be?
Yeah.
It's a Pokemon.
Make a nature check for me.
Nature check. The thing that I'm now proficient in. Gah!
So, this, you suspect, is something called a dragon tortoise. Similar to dragon turtles, except entirely land-based rather than their amphibious cousins. And as you start paying attention, you notice that this creature has, whereas initially taking it in the whole thing at a time, you think, yes, it's definitely a turtle, but looking at it now, you can see that its feet are much more clawed than a traditional turtle. Its face is more elongated and snout-like. It has a ridge of spines that run over its head, giving it more draconic features. The tail is also, as it moves past and you start to see the back of it, you can see the tail is much longer and sort of swishes through the ground as it goes.
Oh shit, man. This is, oh god. And it's like it's noticed me and it's just continuing on its way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
get the sense that this is a creature that has seen you and has regarded, has almost made eye contact with you, and like you would with a person, you can recognise that a person has seen you, they'll sort of like give you a nod and what have you. This creature, you just, as it makes eye contact with you as it's moving on, you get the sense that it's definitely seen you and knows you're there, but it doesn't seem overly bothered by your presence.
Okay. Yeah. Pardon me. I'll leave him be. I won't bother him or do anything. I'll just sort of watch as he goes. Yeah. There. Good. Dragon, tortoise. There. Just wave him on his way. And then I'll get down from the tree because.
So the whole thing probably takes all of 20 to 25 minutes from the time that you first heard this thing and then stopped and hid and waited, and then this thing moves off past you, this enormous beast. And then the sound of it fades as it disappears off into the distance.
I want one for Christmas, everyone.
I'd be impressed if we could swing you one of those for Christmas.
Please. First time I've ever said please in my life.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
Please.
Are you sure you want an Xbox? That's so popular these days.
Please.
I'll figure something out. I'll just look to Neo and be like, this one's on you, buddy.
Shit. I've got Arwen in Secret Santa.
Wait a minute. Christmas doesn't exist here. Hooray!
Loophole!
For my birthday.
Damn it!
I was born.
That is true, you were born.
You were indeed born on the day of your birth.
Wow.
This is a choice backstory reveal that in fact you are a construct.
Well, that's a very thingy question, because was she therefore born, or was she created? And is that still a birthday?
This is my creation day.
Yeah. This is my construction day.
If you get into that, then people that are born by C-section technically don't have that.
Well, this just got very strange.
Just
No, because they were
she was removed.
Technically,
oh yeah, that was the day where I was removed.
yeah, that's actually every
Happy
day.
removal day!
Happy removal day. Well,
Oh my god.
I think I wrote that on my birthday card.
damn. Well. Well, there we are.
What were we talking about?
You wanted a dragon
What
tortoise
is
for
it meant
your
to be that
birthday.
there's no birthday? It's a C-section baby. It's meant to be like birth can be. Like,
Yeah, I guess
one
birth can be
being
anything.
created, not literal.
I see. Well, there we are.
So yes, technically.
Technically, it would still be a birthday.
So, as the sound
Anyway.
of this enormous creature fade into the distance, you realise that the sun has just drifted below the horizon, and the shadowy gloom of night starts to permeate the forest. You reckon you've got another half hour, maybe an hour if you're lucky, of full of light, where you've got enough light to see by. But you're entering that period where the sun's just dipped below the horizon, so you know it's going to start getting dark pretty quickly.
Shall we? I mean, okay, so is it like very hilly around here, or is it sort of like fairly flat ground, just straight?
The terrain's pretty flat at the moment. You can see a good distance in most directions. It rolls a little bit in places, but as far as you can see through the trees, the area immediately surrounding you is pretty flat.
I mean, we could head on a little bit into the evening and then take a break. I mean, like, if we head on into the evening, what's like an hour of walking really gonna, is that really gonna help us much? Might as well just settle down, get an early start the next day.
Yeah.
Unless anyone really fancies walking through the wilderness at night.
So
Which I don't know.
you would have a little bit more of a travel period available to you if you wanted. Settle down here. You are only sort of a couple of hours away from the village where you left this morning. Late this afternoon, having freed the wyverns. So it's up to you how much distance you potentially feel like you want to put between you and it, knowing that at some point there would be people returning to it.
Shall we walk until the sun has completely set,
Yeah.
and then we'll
start shut up. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. You travel for another about sort of 40 minutes at the time. Then it starts to get pretty dark to see. You're relying on your dark vision, which doesn't give you a lot of range. You start to hear the increase in life as stirring as the forest sort of enters night. Nocturnal creatures, a few owls. You hear the sounds of a few bats, and maybe catch a glimpse of an owl flitting through the trees as you walk on. But you settle down. You make a camp for the evening. Set up a small fire and cook your rations, heat them up, and so on and so forth. What would you like to do over the course of the evening? Are you going to be setting a watch? If so, who's going to be watching?
I will take the first watch. Might as well. Screw it.
Nice.
And I'll put up, right? So we'll try and find a big stick. Okay? Here's my plan. Put up a big stick. And then get some rope, which I have. And tie another big stick to it. So it kind of looks like a stick man. And then I'm going to find like a sort of big, I don't know, something round, stick on top, like a big fruit or something, stick sort of on the top. Okay, Elvis, right. Performance last time, mediocre.
Right.
Mentioned Stix.
Damn you, that was funny.
Yes. Yes. Twig.
My son Twig. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna try and teach Elvis to hit better. I'm gonna get on his back, and I'm gonna make him hit the stationary thing that I've created.
Okay.
Oh dear.
I'd like 2 rolls from you, please, Stix.
Yes.
One is this will be an all-encompassing nature check from you, just to create your stick man, so to speak.
Boom.
21. Yeah. So you make pretty quickly. You make a good looking little like scarecrow figure, just like stab a tall branch in the ground and put another one across, and you manage to cut off like the end of like a little bit of bush, which is so it's got this sort of leafy protuberance to it that's about sort of head size, and you lash that on so it's got this round head like so it's got a vaguely humanoid shape.
I'm also going to put my shield in like one of its sort of hands, like hanging from one of the hand bits, and my sword from the other one, and be like, okay, he's scary. He's a bad guy. Go get him!
Okay. Make an attack roll with Elvis.
If this doesn't fucking work, I swear, Elvis, I will do nothing because you're a good boy.
I have a number. I'm hoping to see it. I have a number in mind. So, yeah, Elvis sort of backs up, like almost sort of a bull-like paws at the ground, and then wham! This thing is like smashed down as these 2 antlers clatter into
Drake.
like you.
Boom.
Yeah, it just this big sort of whoomph as it hits the ground, and other charging, stampeding over it. And it's sort of like a spray of like dirt and things kicked up in his wake.
Excellent. Well, yeah, I'll rebuild it, and my plan is to just sort of keep doing that over my watch, just rebuilding this thing, and then making Elvis hit it.
Okay.
Giving him some training,
However else feels about Stix, periodically shouting "Go!" and then there's a big clack of antlers on wood.
It's fine, he'll sleep soon. Then we'll get our revenge. Sweet revenge.
So while this is going on, Stix, can you make me a deception check at disadvantage? Because you're focused on training Elvis, and roll a d12 for me.
Can I make check at disadvantage, JJ? That's what I was born to do. Perception.
He may have been born to do it, but
all died in their sleep.
Stix did not see you to die before it was about to step on the
So, despite Stix's inattentiveness to his watch, you all do get some amount of rest. Maybe not the deep sleep you would expect in the few hours when you first settle down, but after a little bit of time, Elvis is sort of panting quite heavily and breathing. You can see his breath misting up from his nostrils as he breathes it out. It seems like maybe he's had enough, and so Stix does, well, one would assume, settle down and allow him some rest, unless you're going to be a hard taskmaster.
No,
you will work through the night, boy.
No, I'm a nice guy. I'll let him. I'll let him rest. You done good here, boy. And again, I'm gonna throw him up an acorn, and he just sort of crunches it in his hand, and then when I'm not looking, he just sort of drops it out of his mouth because he can't eat things.
oh,
And so that's how Stix spends the majority of his rest. Who would like to go next?
I will.
Okay. Can you make a perception check and roll with it for me?
Perception. And roll a d12. Two.
2.
Hello.
So, Arwen, your watch. You sort of begin a little bit bleary-eyed, having been woken up by Stix. And not really got to sleep quite as quickly as you would have liked. So you start off a little bit unaware, but you quickly shake yourself awake and focus in on watching for dangers, sitting there, scanning, focusing on a bit of wood, sort of memorizing the terrain, and then moving on to the next section. And time goes by, and without much noise other than the crackle of a fire and the occasional sort of flutter of a nightly creature and thing. And then a ways in the distance, you hear a shuffling, shambling sound. And almost a sort of drifting over on the breeze to you here, sort of.
Disagree. You are wrong, sir. It is in fact.
Can I? I am going to do the thing.
Okay.
Primeval Awareness. Aware.
Okay. So you expend a spell slot and sense for. Is it Celestials, Fiend, Fae?
Aberrations, Celestials, Dragons, Elementals, Fae, Fiends, and Undead.
And that's within 6 miles of you in your favoured terrain, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. You don't sense any aberrations,
See?
any
Mhm.
celestials, any
Mhm.
fae, any fiends, or any undead.
Mhm.
But within 6 miles of you, you do sense a draconic presence.
Oh, not including Hugo.
That's not how it works.
It is. It is now.
Tell you what, I'll just take Hugo on a 6-mile walk and we'll
Hugo, go over there. Oh, damn it! It's always dragons. Okay,
It's almost like you're travelling with one.
I know.
Technically, you would also get Fae because of Alice.
God damn it!
Yeah, that doesn't give you the quantity or the number, does it?
No.
It just says,
Ooh,
within the
wait.
greatest of you, there is something.
No. No. There's definitely something I can do, but I can't find it at the moment. Oh, God damn it. Okay. How far is 6 miles?
I mean,
About 6 miles.
it's a long way. If you think the walk from my house to the station is 0.8 of a mile.
Oh, God. Okay.
just walk it.
Where can I hear this weird noise coming from?
Coming from a vaguely northwards direction.
Okay.
And all the time you're sort of thinking, doing this thing, and focusing. It takes a minute to cast Primeval Awareness, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So the minute you take to do that, the whole time you can just hear this almost stumbling through the forest.
Stumbling.
And this sound is now getting louder.
I am going to take my bow, have it out,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna go for a walk.
Okay.
I tell Hugo, stay here. Be good.
Okay.
And I go towards the sound.
Okay. Well, you don't have to walk very far.
If I find a zombie, I swear to
Oh
God.
shit. Decide good.
It's not true. They're undead, aren't they?
They are.
It's never a good
Oh,
time
no,
when
not
a
a
myth
man.
comes in.
You don't have to go very far before you see. You get within you get within 60 feet the range of your dark vision, and you spot this thing shambling through the forest. It's moving quite slowly, and as it comes through the gloom towards you, you can see it has these
Like a
long,
fish.
bony fingers, and between its fingers is these large sections of wet, sort of dried web skin. Its form is shrunken, the skin shriveled up around the bones, and its mouth is just sort of distended and hanging open. And it seems to be that this sound just permanently emanates from it as it breathes in and out through this wide, gaping jaw. As it sort of stumbles along, this jaw hanging from these fleshy cheeks, just sort of, it stumbles, just sort of wobbles one way and then the other almost loosely.
Ew.
Just
It's a
Make a.
make a real quick stealth check for me.
really pretty map.
14. So you're
This man
standing there
looks
almost,
dehydrated.
partially hidden from it. And it doesn't seem to have noticed you just yet. But it is moving through the trees in your direction. Begins to move a little closer.
Okay, I'm gonna do something really dumb. But this man looks dehydrated, so I'm going to throw some water on him because he looks like a fish out of water.
Okay.
Hello,
How
water.
So you're gonna move
Running
towards him.
Yes. Well, I'll walk up towards him. So wherever he, I'm not like running or anything.
No. Okay. So you.
I'm not scary.
Honestly, you probably end up only getting to about here, just out of the campfire before this creature's gaze, which seems to have been defocused, turns and snaps towards you, and whereas it was shambling before, it starts rushing towards you.
Oh dear
And it
God.
almost sort of hunches over, its arms down by its side, like rushing towards you now, and its mouth is
Naruto running.
a little bit, yeah.
Great.
And its mouth is just sort of like flopping.
Oh
It
no.
moves towards this low sort of gurgling noise gets louder.
Sir, you need a drink.
As it moves
You'll be
towards
fine in a minute. You're not you when you're thirsty.
You're not you when you're thirsty. Throw Snickers in his mouth. You're fine.
you. Do you continue to move towards it?
Unless I have a water pistol. Yes.
Okay. So it'll probably get to around here as it's moving quickly, and you'll get to
Okay,
about-
I throw the water from afar.
Okay, so you're going to stay where you
From
are.
like here.
Okay. So you're here,
Whoosh.
and you. I mean, make an attack roll with your water skin.
How does one do
That is
this?
straight dexterity.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you have proficiency in water skin. 20. Yeah. So you throw this
Get
water skin,
hydrated.
and it kind of like splashes off the face, a little bit open, and water sort of like splashes across it, and it like bonks it on the head. I mean, and water's pretty heavy, you know, like getting hit by like a big balloon of water is gonna knock you down a little bit. So just roll 1d4 of damage for me for an improvised weapon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not bad.
Okay.
He hasn't tasted the water in so long.
And now I would like everyone to roll initiative, please.
Oh no.
I mean, aren't we still asleep?
Yes, but roll initiative, and then depending on what happens.
To roll with advantage.
No, you just roll initiative, and if you're still asleep, you won't do anything on the turn.
Roll perception and see if you wake up to the sounds of me screaming as I throw water on this thing.
I mean, if that's something you want to say that you did, that you shouted at it as well, then
No, I was trying to be helpful.
okay.
I apparently was not.
Oh, Chantal, we are caught in a deadlock. Roll a d. Would you like to roll a d6? Battle it out. Will he be a 2? Yeah, he will. Aha!
Dex. If you want to use Elvis, do you want to roll an initiative for him, and then you can decide
Oh my God! Yes, this is what he's been training for.
whether he's independent or whether or not He's controlled.
It's time. Let's go.
His nighttime training has paid. Jesus.
Oh my god, yes. Let's go, boy. Let's go, boy. No, like I'm gonna be getting on him and just like telling him where to move.
So you're going to use him controlled.
Yeah.
He can't attack. Remember, if you do that.
Yeah, no. So I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna get on him. I'm going to attack, and I'm going to just say like, Elvis, go over there.
Yeah.
And hopefully he goes over there.
So you're not using him as a controlled mount.
No.
Okay.
But I am mounting him.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So
I'm mounting Elvis. Never thought I'd say that. There we go.
And Neo, in traditional fashion, bringing up the rear with a 4.
Oh, Neo.
So
Sweet,
Arwen,
sweet
you
Neo.
are up first, having been hit in the face and sort of stumbling back by this water skin. This creature almost like drags a clawed hand and like slashes it as it sort of drops off the body, ripping the skin open, and the water spills on the ground. Ripping the skin of the water skin open, and the water spills on the ground. And it just turns, and its jaw, you didn't think it could get any like more extended before, opens up even more, and it just screams at you now, this like sort of piercing howl.
I'm slowly trying to help.
But yeah, you were up first.
Okay. 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 I'm going to use this. Where is it? There it is. Flames! If you don't like water, eat eat flames! I don't know how this thing works. Hold on.
Damage roll. So,
I'm just going to put that here while I read it.
each creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere must make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, well, he just has to make a dex save, I think.
So
Eat flames!
So as an action, you cause a flaming sphere
Flames.
to appear. Would you like to draw your beautiful flaming sphere?
Yeah!
Okay, so you get a 5-foot you conjure a 5-foot flaming sphere. As a bonus action, you can ram it into a target to deal damage to the target, but it doesn't take any damage when the sphere appears. Oh god.
Excuse me.
I'm just gonna move it for the time being.
Ooh, what are you moving?
I'm moving the
Him?
thing out of the way, yes.
Why?
So that I can group all your little drawings together.
I'm making a very detailed fire. Flames! There we go.
Okay. Right.
I thought that was a token you brought in, so no, you just drew a bunch of flames.
Flames!
Why has it done that after I specifically requested everything was grouped Roll20?
Flames!
You cannot control the fire, JJ.
Okay,
It is mine!
so this orb appears and the ground is like singed underneath it, and you use your bonus action to ram it in, so it does indeed need to make a dexterity saving throw. That is a 14. What is your spell save DC, please?
13.
That's a pass, so it takes half damage. And you are also concentrating.
Am I? Oh no, I am. Oh well.
So it takes 2 damage
Lay.
from
I-
the spheres.
Do shout, eat flames, and hope everyone hears me.
Okay. Next up is Elvis's turn. He is probably in some form of trance or sleeping state next to you, Stix.
Indeed. Okay. So here's a question. Could you say that Elvis, you can't really hold movement, can you? So I was going to say, obviously, like, if he's moving on behalf of the both of us, I was going to say that obviously I would get on Elvis, and then he would move.
Yeah. The way... so if you're going to sort of give commands, I think, and not really control him, just sort of give commands, he will sort of move about. But he is, as you say, your mount from the spell Find Steed, so you have this connection. But I think him moving, him holding an action to move after you mount him is a little bit beyond even an elk's intelligence, even an unnaturally intelligent elk.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I have an idea. Elvis is going to do nothing for now.
Just use half the movement to stand
shit
up
all.
and wait
He's
for
just
you.
yeah, he's just standing up and waiting for me.
Okay. So everything Elvis does. Stix, it is now your turn.
And now I would like to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I will do in just a moment. So to get on Elvis is
Half your movement.
half my movement. Okay, so I won't go 30. That is... Unless... Can I... Oh god, this has gotten confusing. Okay, no. Instead, I'm going to go 5, 10, 15. I see the thing, and I think, oh shit, there's fire. And I throw fire of my own.
Oh, I thought you were going to throw water at it. I've tried that.
Yes, so I'll throw some fire of mine own. Why are you being so... I have. You know what they say? Fight fire with fire.
Ooh.
22, that hits.
Fuck yeah.
Roll with damage. 11.
11. Yeah.
Your fire is so much better than mine.
And then... Can I... hold? Okay, so I can't ready anything to then, as Elvis comes to me.
No,
Yes.
because it is your movement to mount him, and you can't hold movement, and you have used your action to cast Produce Flame.
Dumb. In that case, I will say, fuck this noise. Elvis is a free bird. He will be free. And I'll move 10, 15 here. And I'm just going to shout, "Get it, boy!" like I did with the stick.
Okay.
So when it comes around to his turn again, he will know, yes, it is him who I must get. I understand now. Hopefully.
Okay. So, Stix, you are awake, and actually you can't move that far because it would be half your movement to stand up from prone.
Crap.
So you would
So,
have 15 feet of
I am back here.
Yes.
Excellent.
So you are awakened by Arwen's shout, and catching sight of these flames off in the distance ahead of you, and seeing Arwen lit up and this figure silhouetted or lit up beyond it, you quickly get to your feet and dash over, casting a spell of your own, causing it to burn and singe and across its chest as you hit. And that's everything on your turn. Next is Klari.
So do I have to use some movement to get up?
Yeah, so you have to use half your movement to stand up from prone.
Yeah, the rest of you. Yeah, the last sort of roll 20 recently, but ours is very slow today. Yeah, 20 feet to go up.
5, 10. Wait.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you can go under the tree.
20. Can I go there? I'm assuming the trunks are in the middle.
Yeah. Just underneath the canopy there.
Yeah.
I can throw some fire on. I have dash as a bonus action,
Yes.
don't I? So I'm going to use dash as my bonus action, so I can move another 5, 10, 15. That's not... And then I'm going to throw fire.
I am also realising I missed its first turn, which I will do next, before it misses the round.
Does that hit?
Unfortunately, does not hit. As this thing is sort of recoiling from flapping its arms, it becomes sort of a whirling like mash of claws, and it's difficult to hit, and trying to target it, and just almost without realising it ducks out of the way. Right, its turn now is going to go 5, 10 up to Arwen, and make 2 attacks against you, Arwen. First attack slashes at you with these long clawed fingers, with this disgusting looking webbing between them. Is going to be a 13 to hit.
No!
So you neatly step back out of the way, and then as it sort of slashes at you, in the same movement, it tries to bring this enormous mouth to clamp around you. That is on the floor.
Stay back.
A 15 to hit.
Yeah.
So as you sort of like dodge out the way of the claws, his mouth closes around your arm. You feel all these sharp teeth biting in.
If I become one of those webbed creatures, I'm... No.
You take 5 piercing damage and 8 necrotic damage.
5, 6, 7, 8.
You
Ow.
feel this bite. Even just a brief contact before you pull your arm out of this bite around you, you can feel it trying to almost drain the life out of you with this bite, with a dark necrotic energy sinking in. But then it does have to make another dexterity save, being within 5 feet of your flaming sphere. That's a natural 1, so roll the flaming sphere damage again. Actually, first make 1 concentration check for me.
Oh yeah.
DC 10 to see if your flaming sphere is still up.
Oh god. Hold on. Concent. It's Constitution, isn't it?
Constitution saving throw, yes. 18.
18.
Flaming sphere is still up, so roll flaming sphere again.
Rocket sphere.
9 damage. ends its turn, so we'll go to whoever. We'll go to Neo, who is now in the initiative order. It's going to come around again pretty quickly because I missed its turn initially. So Neo stands up using 15 feet of its movement, and then it's just going to rush 5, 10, 15, and then he's going to dash 5, 10, 15, 20, and get up in this thing's face with his sword out, his big glaive out, but he can't do anything just yet.
Eek.
So we go back to you, Arwen.
Arwen.
Is it an action to ram it into?
It's a bonus action to move your sphere and ram it into it.
Okay, so I can do something else.
Yeah.
Can I do the bonus action first?
Yeah, you can do that first.
Okay. I want to ram it into him.
Okay. So yeah, you wave your arms and you make the sphere move, and you're trying to ram it into this thing from behind. So it makes that is a 15 on the dice to save against your 15 to save against your against your spell save DC.
Yeah, no, it's 13.
That is half damage.
Oh, okay, so I still do it.
Yeah, it
That's
still
good.
takes a little bit of damage. I believe. I think it's... Any creature you can move the sphere up to 30 feet. You can ram the sphere into a creature. That creature must make a saving throw against the sphere. Yeah. So it takes half of 5, so 2 damage from the sphere as you try and bring it in behind, but it sort of moves out of the way a little bit and the sphere stops moving. Still stops burning. You can see the skin almost like blister a little bit from the heat.
I'm also going to attack it with my daggers. Can I?
Yeah, you can make your attack.
That's good.
Ooh, crit.
Ooh.
One hand, obviously.
So, 7
where is
damage
my
plus roll a
thing?
d8 for me.
Hold on 2 seconds. That as well. And then D8.
Roll the Colossus Slayer again as well.
Oh, yeah.
That gets doubled.
Oh, Jesus.
So that is 7 plus 4 plus 4 is 8, so 15 damage, and then inflict wound. Target takes 1d4 damage at the start of their turn until they regain health or use an action to complete a DC 10 medicine check. So you like thrust in and stab deep, and you see this almost like black blood in the dark light start oozing, and there's almost like this pulsing to it as if you've hit something vital, and every time its heart beats it like pulses a little bit more, and this blood like just oozes out the side with each pulse. But it is bleeding.
I'm going to do it again. Oh.
11 unfortunately doesn't hit.
I'm just going to...
Potentially like transfixed by this. As you like draw the knife out, you see how deep it's penetrated with blood. You almost don't have almost fixated on the wound you've dealt it before you can't quite land the second strike.
There's a nice straight line for Elvis to run through.
Yes.
Okay. Now it is its turn. So it is going to make 2 attacks against Neo. Only one of them will hit. So he tries to bite at him again, and then these claws rake down Neo's side. And you can see as these claws like rake around, they like dig into Neo's flesh and like grab him, and he tries to move. But as he tries to move, they like tugs on his skin, and he can't get away.
Oh no.
We need to roll something.
No!
Neo takes 18 damage, and
Oh.
he's restrained by this grapple. You see, every time he tries to move at the moment, it's all like the wound like tugs where these fingers are grabbing onto him. And then this creature doesn't want to be near this orb, so it like moves and like spins around. It like spins like around with like trying to like move Neo into the path of the orb. It can't. Having made its attacks, it can't quite physically move him, but it does move away from the orb slightly.
Does it still take damage from it? Because it started there.
No, it's when it ends its turn
Okay.
in range of fire.
Fair enough.
You can see as he's got this wound on it that is bleeding, and we need to roll damage for 4. It's
Did you have a rest since last session?
no, you did not yet get your rest.
Just checking for my spells. I'm not sure whether I was forgetful and didn't do them, or I wasn't.
Yeah, as it, you can see there's still this wet sucking sound coming from its mouth as it seems to try and want to feed. So we go to Elvis.
So I told Elvis to go get it.
Yeah.
So I would like to assume that he would probably go get it. His newfound skills in play. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. He's not really one for, getting. He's not very clever, so he's not gonna get around things or whatever. He's just gonna. He's probably just gonna think, "Oh, people are next to me. That's good, right?" And he's just gonna give it a whack. Oh!
7
Ow,
unfortunately misses. This creature's sort of holding on to Neo. Elvis doesn't seem to quite know where one starts and one ends, and sort of strikes wide, trying not to hit Neo. And after all that practice as well.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
Stix, it is now your turn.
Damn you, Elvis. Okay, so I'm gonna see Elvis somewhat. I'm not gonna say disappoint me. He tried his best. But I'm gonna come 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And I'm just gonna shout back to the fires of hell with you as I cast Thunderous Smite on my weapon as a bonus action. And I whack it with my sword. Oh, friggin' God! Why do you freeze every time I try and move you?
10 misses, unfortunately.
But that's really cool, JJ, because that hits though.
An 18 does hit. Yeah, so you strike
Excellent.
it, slash at it twice with your sword.
Would I have pulled my shield out at this point? I like to think I would have. because it's a creepy thing in the night time. Yeah, so that was one-handed.
Okay.
So the damage is pretty pitiful. However, it's 2d something for thunder damage. And it needs to make a strength saving throw. 2d6 thunder damage. The target is a creature must succeed in a strength saving throw, be pushed 10 feet away. And not
into the fire!
Exactly.
That is a 19.
That is disappointing.
Not
However,
into the fire.
It does take 4 damage. Oh, everything about that turn is just from Elvis to my swing to just. Oh, I'm so sleepy.
9 damage that turn to it. And you strike, and there's this thunderous boom radiates through around. If you guys were still a little bit sleepy before, you're now definitely awake. As this thing strikes out. And the Stix hit it with the sword, but it grips on, almost like using Neo as like an anchor, the claws gripping into him, but he's still restraining him. Yeah, uses him like an anchor and braces itself. Unfortunately, he's not moved away.
If, for example, the flaming sphere was in the square next to him there, right?
Yeah.
And I pushed him through the flaming sphere.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that wouldn't have like any additional benefits or anything like that, other than just pretty cool.
Well, you can hit things with the sphere can hit things. So when Arwen can ram the sphere into something as a bonus action, and then the sphere stops moving, so it's clearly got some sort of presence.
So you could probably hit him into it, but he wouldn't be able to go past it. But so he would take damage
It's
from
only
it.
a sphere of fire. You know.
Well, I was going to say, like, I would
like if you
imagine
had like
take fire damage,
you know,
going
like a
through it.
flamethrower, and you threw something through it. It would take some. It would take some of the fire. It would get hit by the fire, but it would also pass straight through it. So I'd say yes, it would pass through it, and it would probably take some of the damage. Probably take half damage.
I see. Well, there we go.
I mean, if you wanted to like grab it and hold it in the fire, then it would probably automatically fail the save. I'd probably say it automatically fail the save each time, but at the same time, you would be within 5 foot of the sphere, and you would probably also fail because of.
So I should have held him into the fire and told him to literally eat flames.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
Damn it.
it's an interesting one because then also you're in proximity to the fire, so then you start taking damage.
But do I? Because it's my fire.
Yeah.
But it's my magical fire.
Yeah. Anyway, it is Clary's turn. What would you like to do, Clary?
Oh, Clary's got a team around her. Help me if I have the right page.
However, to get sneak attack, you'll need to move.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do. You need to have advantage. You need to have
No, I just need someone for sneak attack. I just need someone to be in.
Oh yeah, you do, don't you? Oh.
Don't try and outrogue the rogue, Ben.
I'll have to get advantage on him.
Ah.
Words.
Words and phrases.
Stop it. Damn it.
A 19 does hit.
Oh, yeah.
So you nip around the side and as it's distracted by Stix's thunderous smite. Ooh, 24.
18.
24 damage in total. Very nice.
Yeah, and leave my offhand attack as the bonus action.
16 unfortunately doesn't hit.
This is
It's pretty strong. So that's an AC of 17.
Dart around it. Quickly stab it with one hand. The other hand comes around, but it moves out of the way just in time with the second strike. Anything else?
Is it holding on to
Yeah,
Neo?
it still has Neo grappled.
Can I like specify that I attack its arm?
You can, but it won't change anything about the grapple. If you want to try and break the grapple, it would be your action to do that.
I see. Let's go. Yeah, I'm just gonna attack it.
Slice and dice. And everything nice.
That's my turn.
Okay. We go to Neo. Neo is just going to make 2 strikes at it. Disadvantage while he is restrained. So that is going to be a 17 to hit with disadvantage. And the second strike at disadvantage is going to be a 19 to hit. Shite damage though. And gets 9 damage overall from the 2 strikes. Yeah, let's have him pump a Divine Smite into it as well though.
Yeah.
Pump that damage up. Where am I? There's my D8.
There's nobody else.
So another 6 damage. And the other's 15 damage overall. He then kind of fixes you with a bit of a wink stick, or with a bit of winks at you, and then he winks out of existence and appears over here in a puff of mist. Casts Misty Step to break free of the grapple.
Yeah, I've Misty Step.
He did. Or he didn't, but he does now.
He always had it, I'm just terrible at using it for him.
I see. That's a lot to keep track of.
So that's everything on his turn.
How much more damage than you should have taken? Forgot about that.
Pardon?
So next we go to Arwen.
Okay. If I move it here,
Yeah.
can I ram it into him and then put it back here?
No, the spell states that once the sphere rams a target, it stops moving.
Okay.
You can move it up to 30 feet, but once you ram it into a target, it will stop moving.
And it hits if people end in a space 5.
If people end in an adjacent square to the sphere, they will have to make a dexterity saving throw. If you ram it into the target has to make the dexterity saving throw when you hit it.
Yeah. Okay, the fire is going to stay there for a minute.
Okay.
Because I don't want to hurt anyone else.
Huh?
And I'm going to slicey slice.
That'll let me hit.
Slicey slice.
9,
Slicey slice.
17 damage.
I'm going to slicey slice.
That one misses, unfortunately.
God, how? How? No!
As you make these two strikes. One cuts in. It's so sunken and desiccated in places you can see his ribcage is almost on the surface, and the second strike you land, and it just almost like clinks off bone. There's almost no like flesh or substance that is hit to the sort of bone side of it, which doesn't seem to harm it at all on the second strike.
God damn.
Anything else in the turn on? Okay. Then we go to its turn. Having been freed of grappling, has the use of its arm again, and it's going to turn and make a slash at Klari first. That is 17 to hit Klari.
I think it does hit.
Oh, this.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
I hope that hits. Because you've got more AC than I do, and I've got a shield.
You take 16 slashing damage, and you are grappled.
Um,
And restrained.
what's half 16?
I
I don't take half, don't I?
You can, use
So I
your.
can see it.
You can direct any dodge and take off. It is then going to try and bite at you, Stix. The 17 again to hit you, Stix.
That matches my AC, so yeah, hit.
Yeah, so it chomps down, biting you, and you take.
Does being grappled mean I can't move?
Restrained.
Grappled, your speed is reduced to 0. Restrained, you have disadvantage on attack rolls, and creatures have advantage on attack rolls against you. You can use an action to attempt to break free.
So I'm grappled.
Yes.
So 6, you take 9 slashing damage. And 9 necrotic damage.
Oh!
It turns around, bites into you. Its enormous jaws opening wide and clamping down around you.
Alright, buddy. Let's fucking go.
His jaws like close around you. You can hear this like slobbering sounds it's making as it starts like almost like chewing on your flesh before you pull yourself free from its jaws. And then it is Elvis' turn.
Elvis would like to make up for some slight mistakes after a stern look from Thick. Although this thing is fucking creepy, it is somewhat terrifying. But I like to think it's now biting down on my arm, so he's a little bit protective. So he's going to make an attack, and then he's going to promptly run the fuck away. Maybe not run the fuck away, but like get behind me. Oh my god, man! Elvis, you're killing me! You're killing me!
11 unfortunately doesn't hit.
And then he is going to, again, not very wise in the ways of thing. Also, Elvis should be a large creature.
Ah.
I don't know if that has anything at all, but yeah, he should be much bigger than that. And then he is going to run there, like a scared little bitch boy. Yeah, this thing's fucking creepy, man.
What's Elvis's AC?
Elvis's AC is 10.
Okay, so it makes a bite attack at Elvis as he goes to move away, and Elvis takes 19 slashing damage as it.
Well, JJ,
enormous jaws chomp around.
I don't like you. He just goes back to farewell. Yeah. I can bring him back again.
Somewhat perturbed as it snaps its jaws, and they almost pass like mist, trying to eat mist through Elvis's flesh as he just dissolves into nothingness.
Oh, this thing's gonna fucking die.
Well, that's the end of Elvis's turn. So Stix, you're up.
Alright. Stix is going to move. He needs to move for what he wants to do, but he also likes the thought of advantage. He's going to move here anyway. He has high hopes. And he's going to, in an act of fury and rage, once again cast Thunderous Smite on his weapon. Because he doesn't give a shit at this point about spells. And he's gonna miss in
Fit of rage.
in a fit of rage.
Wildly at it.
Oh, sword! Blaze!
Unfortunately, whoa. This is impossible. Your strikes are just sort of wild and untrained, and you're not landing them. This is moving and dodging away.
On the bright side, I haven't wasted the spell because it's concentration, so I've got a little thing on me, and I'm going to move back here and for thing, and I'm just going to scream, "Can someone fucking kill this goddamn piece of shit?"
Yeah. Klari, it's your turn.
I'm grappling.
You are grappled and restrained, so you have disadvantage on attack rolls against it. You can use an action to try and escape.
I assume, am I restrained because I'm grappled, so like if I broke it?
No, they are two separate conditions. You are grappled and restrained. You can break it with a single roll, but grappled means that your speed is 0, restrained means you have disadvantage on attack rolls.
Would me flanking it mean that she has just rolls a regular roll?
No, because it's not an attack to break free. I'm flanking.
No. I mean, if she wanted to attack it,
yes, if you wanted to attack it, you would, yes.
So what's causing me to be...
So he is grappling and restraining you.
So like his whole, like...
Yeah.
Like his claws are physically like grab you and like digging into your flesh.
Ow. So if I were to free myself, I would no longer be grappled or restrained.
Yes, exactly.
That's do I have to roll for that, or do I just choose to use my action?
Nope, you have to roll to try and break free.
Okay.
It would be a strength athletics or a dex acrobatics check to try and wriggle out or pull yourself out of this grapple.
I'm gonna do acrobatics. Try and escape.
Make an acrobatics check.
Oh, come on. 7.
Unfortunately, that is not enough with an 8. And as you sort of start to wiggle and try and break free, it like digs its claws in, and the pain of it forces you to stop trying to like wiggle for a moment. You still have your bonus action.
Can I use a bonus action to try and escape again, or does it have to be the main? But I can still attack it. I get disadvantage.
If you have anything that you can attack with as a bonus action, you can't make your hand attack as a bonus action. You've attacked it as your action, unfortunately.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So actually, I don't think you do that.
Then yeah, there's nothing I can do.
Okay. It is Neo's turn then. There we go. Around it, choosing not to go near the sphere and make 2 attacks against it. One will be a hit, one will be a miss. 6 damage, and I'll throw out a Divine Smite in there as well. Bring it up to 15. he will stay there to try and help out and give support. Arwen, your turn.
I have many questions.
Go for it.
Okay. When it says hit points 11 brackets 2d8 plus 2, what is the hit points?
So I'm assuming you're looking at a creature there.
Yes.
Okay, so it means that its hit points are 11 is the average roll of whatever is in the brackets.
Okay.
So you can generally you just use the number from the book, but you can, if you wanted, roll
for
the
it.
number of hit points.
Okay. And then melee weapon attack plus 4 to hit. What does that mean?
That means that when you attack, you roll a d20 and add 4 to the result.
Okay. And then it says... Oh, okay. No, I think I get it now.
Okay.
Arwen becomes a wolf.
Oh!
Okay.
Good times. Okay. And she's going to...
So
Oh, I can't move.
this is the first time you've transformed into something
Yes.
sizable. What does Wolf Arwen look like?
Big and grey and fluffy. But kind of scary. Oh! Like that!
Oh!
A little bit smaller.
Cute.
And what I'll also do is I'll just remove you for the time being. So you are now a wolf.
Yeah!
So you watch.
And
Form sort of hunches down and shrinks down and extends out as his fur bristles over her. And standing before you now is a wolf.
his Wolfwin.
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 Yes.
I love it.
Woohoo! I will also get advantage on my attacks because there's people around me that are my friends.
Wolves have pack tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, D20, yeah?
Yeah, so just a d20 to attack, and then...
But I do it again because I got advantage.
Yeah, you have advantage.
Fucking hell.
So what's the total?
Like 11? You said like plus 4 to attack, didn't you?
Yes. Okay.
So that's an
Yeah.
11 to hit, which unfortunately doesn't hit.
Aww. Wolfwin is sad now. Wolfwin doesn't know what to do. Wolfwin hangs her head in shame.
Someone get this thing a burn stat.
Do I still have my... Like, if I... Can I move away, basically? And can I attack it again?
So when you transform,
As a wolf.
you take on the physical stats of the animal form.
Of the wolf.
So you can maintain concentration on spells that you have already cast.
Mm-hmm.
So the Flaming Sphere doesn't disappear. However, you do not have your multi, or you do not have your bonus or your multi-attack or anything like that. Because that is a feature of you as a half-elf, not you as a wolf. If you transform into a creature that has multi-attack, then you can use their multi-attack and things like that.
And I can't move away.
You can move away, but you won't...
But I'll get hit.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get... I'll have to look into it before next week. but I don't think you'll get the benefits of your mobile feat.
Yeah,
Because again,
that's cool.
I think they only apply to you in your half-elf form.
That's cool. Okay, I am done.
Okay. It is now Monster's turn. Having restrained Klari, it's going to make a bite attack against you with advantage. That's going to be a 17 to hit.
Yeah.
So you take 11 piercing damage as these jaws chomp down around you, and 14 necrotic damage.
Oh boy.
I'm assuming I can't use my uncanny dodge if I'm.
I think you can, but you can only use
You
it.
can. Rules is written you technically can uncanny dodge.
But I can use it for.
5. No, for the 11.
So it'd be 5 and 4. 14, was it?
Yeah,
So
I think.
it was 14 necrotic damage and 11 piercing damage, so for 25 total, which you can halve to 12.
Oh.
Because all the damage comes off a single instance, it's off the bite. So even though it's 2 types, it all comes off the 1 bite, so it all gets halved.
Oh.
What's the type of damage? Deathly damage. Necrotic.
But that is everything it can do. Using its claws to restrain you like that, it can't seem to make a second attack with them how it was before. It's only got the bite, and you can, every time it sort of chomps down, you can feel it. It can't quite get rip and tear your flesh because of your armor and things like that, but you can feel it trying to almost chew away at these creatures trying to devour you. And it's great. It would be Elvis's turn, but he's gone, unfortunately, so Stix. I'm not rubbing it in, Ben, I swear. I just want to see your eyes. Oh, I can't see your eyes, never mind.
Okay, I have a problem.
Yes?
I still have Thunder's Smite on my weapon.
Yes.
And everyone is here.
Yes.
So here's what I'm going to do, right? You can move into the space of another creature and attack from it, but you just can't end your turn there, right?
You can move through a space, I know. I don't know about attacking from that space, but it would kind of make sense that you could.
Unless you can move into a space.
If a creature wants to, you can move through an ally's space, I know, provided the ally will let you. You can move through an enemy's space if you if they don't want to let you through, they can oppose it. But I'm not certain about attacking from this space. Where is movement in this book? Oh, there was a shit on movement.
Essentially what I was going to say is I was going to move into Neo's space, attack it, and then move back to the space I was currently in.
91, I think, is what I want.
Because if I hit it from this space, and it fails its save on Thunderous Smite, it flies into fire. If I hit it and it passes, we've all still got advantage from where we stood. If I move into that space and it misses, well, then I'm still moving back, so it can't run away that way. It is because if I can't hit it where I'm currently stood, it would fly into me.
Move through a hostile creature's space. In contrast, you can move through a hostile creature's spaces. The creature is at least 2 sizes larger or smaller than you, remember that no creature space is so difficult terrain for you. Whether a creature is friend or an enemy, it can't willingly end your move in its space if you leave off of it. It doesn't say anything about attacking from an ally space, so I will allow it, and again I will look it up gently. So you can move
Cool.
near a space, you just can't an attack, you can't end your turn there.
That's what I was thinking. So,
If you're next to an enemy and you move away from them, they get a bonus like an attack against you.
yeah.
If you were to move into a different space that's still next to the enemy, they still get an attack of opportunity.
No. Out of its reach, I believe. Oh my god. Get to the thing.
24, that'll hit.
It needs to make a strength saving throw, DC 15.
23.
Bitch! Well, it still takes that. And, because I'm mad. Oh yeah, and I need to roll it down to the sword. Oh, one-handed, that's not bad.
Okay, so that's 19 damage.
I don't have any level 1 spell slots left, so that's going to have to be a level 2.
So 19 plus 14 is numbers. 33.
33. And then, seeing as that has failed drastically, I'm going to move back into my spot. My concentration is gone. And now for advantage, I'm going to go fishing for crits.
Why did you have to move into Neo's spot?
Because my theory was that if I moved into Neo's spot and attacked, I could push it forward into your fire.
Ah, okay. Cool.
17?
Just hits.
Oh! Boy! 9 damage. Plus, I'm running out of spell slots really quickly. So I'm not gonna smite this time. I did my big chunk of damage. I'm showing now what the lesser people call restraint.
Okay. So that's everything on your turn 6. We go to Klari.
Whack.
I'll attempt to free myself.
Okay. Make another athletics or acrobatics check. 23. Yeah, so you manage to, as it's reeling from these strikes from Stix, this with golden glowing light of his sword on one side of it, kind of like turns its head away from the light and closes its eyes, and that's, you sense your opportunity and you wiggle free, and it hurts like hell as you pull yourself off of these claws, but you wriggle away, and you are now freed.
Yay!
You are no longer grappled or restrained.
I'm going to use disengage as my bonus action and just back off of it.
Okay.
15, 20. Cool.
Okay. Neo's turn.
Cool.
What is Neo gonna do?
Where? Oh yeah, he's there.
He's gonna step across you, Arwen, and roll to hit twice. Oh, good. That's a 12 on the first one. That'll miss. And that's a natural 20 on the second one.
Hey,
So,
my boy.
fuck, what are these numbers? So that would be... oh god, so that's 10 plus... So it's 14 damage from the glaive, and it would be churlish not to pump another divine smite into it, given that he's rolled a crit. And another 21 damage there, so 35 damage?
Oh! Go the boy.
Numbers.
Do you say 25?
20.
25 plus 14. Did you say 14 before? No, wait, maybe I'm confused. Sorry, I'm confusing everything. Ignore me.
Yeah, no. 35 damage. Overall. I think it's 21 plus 14. Is what
Oh, okay.
Right, put on that HP. So you can see this thing now is reeling after Neo delivers this massive strike against it. Blood is still oozing out from the stab wound. Actually, I need to roll for Neo's crit benefit as well.
Oh yeah, does my crit
Yeah,
thing
still going. I've been rolling damage for it on its turn.
Okay, that's cool.
Unfortunately, Neo rolled a 1, which is disarm, and the enemy cannot be disarmed as it has natural weapons.
As it already has arms.
So, unfortunately, there is no additional benefit for his crit. But yeah, this golden light emanating off the glaive as he strikes against it. This thing is now looking quite beat up. The combination of burns from the different sources of fire, the multiple dagger, sort of stab and slice wounds, the cuts it's taken from the sword. It just seems to be, and this sort of sucking sound that it's making is now, you can sense it's a little bit laboured. Sort of, you can see the chest heaving.
You.
But it is now your turn, Arwen.
Great. I'm going. Oh, where am I going? This is what I'm doing. Doop. Doop.
So, what's the results on those?
Oh, wait. 15, 16, 17. 19!
19 hits.
Oh, I forgot about the plus 4. Okay, now what? 2d4 plus 2. 2d4. 7, 8, 9.
9 damage.
And it needs to make a strength saving throw.
15.
Oh yeah, it passed.
Okay. Is that everything on your turn?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright. It is its turn. It was going to go for Stix. However, Neo fucked it up the most, so it's going to go for Neo. Ooh, yeah, they're both going to hit. So, Neo takes 5 piercing damage and ooh, that's a lot. 16 necrotic damage. So Neo takes 21 damage from the bite. As countering sort of Neo's 2 big strikes against it, it turns around, jaws open wide, and almost like a large ditch effort to devour something. It clamps its jaws around Neo and then slashes out with the claws, which also hits. They deal. Ooh, that's a big roll. 11, 18 plus 4.
So is he dead?
So you can see as these jaws like bite in and latch on, and the claws slash in, like stab into Neo's chest, and it just grips it, and you see Neo like flinch and the light in his head sort of like lolls back as he falls unconscious.
Oh no.
Shit!
And yeah, Neo is also still grappled by this thing.
Shit!
Wolfwind can't do any magic. Someone else has to heal.
It's fine. It's fine. I have got this. However,
Stix, now your turn.
alright, so Neo goes down, right? He's lost a lot of blood. He's in pain.
Yeah.
However, Stix. What's more important? How is it looking?
It's looking beat to shit. Like,
Oh, it's looking beat to shit, but it's got him grappled, so if he goes down, if it deals any more damage to him, it's gonna really fucking suck. So I trust my team to kick some booty, and I'm going to go here. No, I'm not going to go there, because that's going within range of fire. I'm going to go 5, and I'm assuming Wolfwind will let me pass through her space, so I can go 10, 15. Shit, no.
You can be in Neo's space to.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to, okay, so I'm gonna have to go 5, 10, be in Neo's space, and I will give him.
so another creature's space is difficult terrain, so it is 5, 10, 15, 20 into Neo's space.
Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. And Neo gets 20 HP back.
Okay. As the sort of healing energy radiates from you, you can see this creature seems to become enraged by the process of Neo being physically healed, and it almost swells and like puffs itself up a little bit, and starts like its fangs like elongate a little bit, and its claws get a little bit sharper, and it seems to be enraged by the act of healing itself.
I hate this thing.
I too hate this thing.
But Neo is now conscious. He's still grappled and restrained, but he is now conscious.
But that's fine. And then I'm gonna have to go. Oh shit! Now the unfortunate thing is I'm gonna have to allow it to get an attack of opportunity on me.
You can move
Because
back next
I
to the
can't.
wolf one. You have enough movement.
Oh
to do
no!
that.
Yes, I can. Of course, it's diagonal. Yeah, so I can. Yeah, I can go there. 15. Aha. And then I'm going to go 20. Wait, no. So it's 5,
You're on 25.
10.
So it was 5 to that space. 10, 15 into. Oh, no,
10,
20,
15.
sorry. So it's 5 to that space, 10, 15 into
20.
Neo's space, 20 back to there. So that's 25 feet.
Oh no, but that's by the fire. Okay, no, I'm gonna stay here. God damn you in the fire, Arwen.
Do you want me to bite you?
No.
Arwen looks at you with a look that says, "Do you want me to bite you?"
Not because of that specific.
Yes.
Is that everything on your turn, Stix?
Yes.
Okay.
I like to think it is.
Okay. Klari, you're up.
I'm gonna cast mirror magic.
Mirror image.
Mirror image, sorry.
Okay.
Ooh.
I've forgotten how that works.
So that's an action. So you cast mirror image, and 3 duplicates of yourself sort of appear around you. So whenever you're attacked, then you roll a d20 to determine whether or not an attack hits you or whether or not it hits the duplicate.
Cool. That's all I'm gonna do.
So Klari casts a spell, and suddenly there are 4 Claries, all standing with a fierce look on their face, fire glinting in their eyes. Then we go to Neo, who doesn't have to make a death save, but
Woohoo!
will make an athletics check to break free of the grapple. That will do it. He pulls himself off and shoves his creature back and sort of stumbles back a foot, and his claws retract out of his chest. Got any bonus? Not really any bonus actions. Does he? No. The one thing he does have, I always forget to use, Panic Rebuke. So, if anyone ever wants to remind me of that, feel free.
Use Hellish Rebuke.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But now we'll go to you, Arwen.
I bite.
Roll for bite.
I do the bite.
You do the bite. You do the wolfy bite.
You do the druid bite. It was a bite. It was a graveyard bite.
So that is
7.
7.
What are you doing, Elvish?
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
Okay.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I'd like to just say that I moved to here. I can't move. Wolfen.
Sorry.
Potatoes and balls.
But she was there when she did the bite.
I will have to fix that. Is it second?
But that's fine. But the ugly thing has to make a strength save. Don't worry about it. Like I know where.
There you go, you should be able to move that now.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Save 19.
God damn it. Nothing happens.
Okay. It is now its turn. It's gonna make 2 attacks against Stix, having Stix being the source of its enragement.
On.
That's gonna be an unnatural 20 with the bite.
Uh-huh.
So that is 10 piercing damage.
Uh-huh.
4 necrotic damage.
Jeez.
And 15. 26 additional necrotic damage.
What? 2 fucking what now? 26.
What kind
Hold
of
on.
powerful juices did you put into this
How
thing?
much damage was that again? That was...
So it was it? It was like 9 necrotic. Oh no, it's like 5 piercing damage, wasn't it?
Mhm.
And
5 piercing damage.
5 necrotic damage.
I think it was 4.
4 necrotic damage, yeah, from, and then the extra damage from the extra necrotic damage from its bite, because it is enraged, is 25.
26.
25. So it,
You said 26.
oh, that's me being bad at maths.
I see.
No,
Well.
that's me forgetting things. It is 26.
Damn
I'm good at
it!
maths.
If it was 25, I'd be alive.
Why didn't you just go with it?
It was
Oh, no.
26.
Yeah, because it's 9 plus 4 plus 7 plus 6.
Not dead.
Well, no, I'm not dead. I'm just down. Dying.
Okay. And as the source
Ow!
of its enragement, the claws will still hit you.
Talking you again.
It is attacking.
So,
You're so mean when people are down.
And it's within 5 feet, so it's a crit as long as it
that's
hits.
2 automatic failed death saves.
Welcome to the
Yes, it is.
club. Been there, done that.
No.
Guys. This went from a random evening encounter to Stix's grave, nearly. Also, I'm trying to get back up the video.
There we go.
There we go. There we go. Finally got the video back. Yeah.
Stix.
This is not the way I saw Stix dying. Oh my lord. Alright, well, that's fine. I'll be okay.
Stix,
Does Clary have healing?
it is now your turn.
No.
No.
It's now my turn.
Okay.
No. Oh my fucking. Oh my god, no.
Make a death saving throw, Stix.
Oh my god.
Um.
You just choose not to.
I refuse.
I refuse.
I will cling to life stubbornly until something else happens.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. I'm alive. I'm alive.
Down on the floor, Stix.
Nope.
While as you fall and the light seems to dim around you, a voice calls out to you. And you just hear it say, "The tree bends in the wind, but snaps back."
Oh
You
damn.
feel this energy surge through you, and as you fall, you wake up and you manage to take a step and keep your feet almost before you've even hit the ground. And you are still standing.
Well.
You did indeed refuse to die.
Can this thing fucking die already, please?
That's at the beginning of your turn.
Yes! Yes, it is. So. I swear to fucking God, if it survives another round and kills me again, which I wouldn't blame it for doing, but like, jeez, come on, man.
I mean, it is called The Hungry after all. Yeah, 22, that'll hit.
Aha. One-handed.
10 damage.
Actually, Jojo, I think you'll find.
I do apologise.
I think you'll fucking find. That's 26 damage.
That's for the necrotic damage.
Well, 6, do not worry, my son. How would you like to do this?
I just sort of see myself stumped, like, so like, you know, it's attacking me, it's killing me, I've got this thing in my mind, I just sort of open my eyes, stumble back, turn, and with this, like, just sort of using my momentum of sort of turning, just swing, and its head just sort of lops off. Brief thing. And then I still just, like, then attack the head that's now flying through the air, just, like a friggin' baseball, like, just snapping it straight across.
As it flies through the air. It's like Fruit Ninja, just...
Yeah.
And brain confetti rains to the ground.
Ooh.
Oh, That was for Elvis, bitch. Oh. And then Stix just sort of falls to the floor like, ah. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I need help. I have no spells. No anything.
Time for a long rest.
Neo will just come over and like offer you like a hand and pull you to your feet with like a warrior's grip, like hands on your forearm. And as he does so, you like feel this energy flow from him, and you can regain 20 lay on hands hit points. It is some on you.
Thank you. Oh my god. Next time we book a B&B.
Yeah, so for
okay.
the first time in a brief while, the forest goes silent. Slowly, Arwen's sphere of fire fades and peters out. Your campfire still burning. The illusory duplicates of Klari last for a moment and then they flicker and fade as well as the spell runs out, and there's nothing around you except the sort of chirping of crickets and the flutter of wings of a bat or an owl in the distance. And you're all sat
Nice.
there.
Just slowly gonna sort of sausage roll over back to the campfire like my everything hurts.
Don't do that, you'll get mud in it. I'll all get infected.
I don't care anymore. It's fine. And
Neo
you
just starts
and you
like,
just
trying to like clean wounds and things like that as you sit by the campfire.
I just roll back towards the campfire and just sort of eventually I just stop right on my stomach and I'm like, alright, good night.
Who's keeping the next watch?
Am I still on watch or am I? Am I done?
We'll say your watch comes to an end, and someone else can take over.
Clary can go next.
Okay. Roll a perception check. Roll for me.
You hear two more really hungry things coming out of the forest.
Perception and D12.
Yeah.
Oh, that was... What dice was that? On top of the,
4d10.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
See, I've read those stat blocks before, but never really, like, took them in. And I could remember they all do individual things, but I couldn't remember what the hungry did.
Yeah. Life hunger. If a creature, the hungry, can see regains hit points, the life hungry gains 2 benefits until the end of its next turn. Has advantage on attack rolls, and its bite deals an extra 22 or 4d10 necrotic damage.
Ooh.
Well, that's fun. It's really, really fun. Just so fun.
Klari, as you're watching, Stix is just sort of sleeping and just sort of every time he sort of like rolls over on his bedroll, you just hear, "Oh."
Ow. Occasionally you just like see me like reach back for Elvis, but he's not there anymore. So I'm like, oh. Roll back
A
over.
single tear rolls down his cheek. What a terrible day for rain. But as you're sitting there, watching the campfire slowly burn down, feeding it sticks. As in S-T-I-C-K, not just burning your companion. He's useless. Fucking.
Sorry, Stix, I'm gonna have to put you down.
The rest of your watch passes uneventful. You rolled like shit.
Hope that's such a bad end.
So,
You all awake.
indeed.
The sun is shining through the trees, casting rays of dappled light across your little campfire. It's now smouldered down to ash, but can be rekindled and brought back to life to cook your various breakfasts and things on, whether that be rations or something else that you would, Arwen or Stix or whoever would hunt. Arwen, you can remain as Wolfwen. I don't believe there's a limit on transforming, so you could have slept as Wolfwen if you would like.
Oh, I definitely slept as Wolfen. You know how they sleep in like a little like
a
U shape,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Hugo was like in the middle.
Oh, okay, like all like tucked up in fur.
Yeah. I can stay in B shape for a number of hours equal to half your druid level.
Ah, right.
I'm assuming that's like one.
What?
Yes.
Oh, druid.
Okay, so sometime during the night would have transformed back into yourself.
Yeah.
So when you awake in the morning, the four of you are there, Arwen cuddling up with Hugo. But the sun is shining, the sky is bright and blue, there are birds chirping. Stix, you do catch sight of a familiar-looking robin before it flutters off a branch. And
Oh my god, no, I go after him.
okay.
I want to run after him and just say thank you. He was very accurate with his flaps. It was very helpful.
So you just start chasing a robin through the trees?
Yep.
How long are you going to sort of like get up and just like chase it a few steps and shout after it, or are you going to try and catch it to say thank you to it?
Not like catch it in my hands, but catch up to it and sort of like shout and just say, hey, hey, hey. Just
So
shout.
after about 10 to 15 seconds of shouting, you probably cotton onto the fact that this thing is just flying away and is not responding to your calls at all. You can continue chasing it.
No. I think I'll just stop. Well, never mind.
Okay, so
Awkward. Got rejected by Robin.
you awake to consciousness and can slowly begin your day. Can you everyone make a survival check for me? To, traverse the day.
Hold on. I've got a lot to
A lot to restore.
restore. Down a ration. I am up a lot of spells every day. Whenever you would want to eat, I would assume.
Although Arwen and Stix both have backgrounds that mean if you did want to hunt for food instead, you would certainly be able to do that to sustain yourselves.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. I'll use some more rations for now.
Okay, so that's a really good set of rolls. got 24, a 16, a 21, and a 10. So you guys are doing pretty well. And it is just at the point that you're packing up camp that Hugo sort of, as he's riding around, walking around near you, and he sort of cocks his head to a sound, and then almost about a second or so later you hear it, this great big beat of leathery wings. And you all turn and look up just in time to see, not directly overhead, but a little ways, this huge spread-eagled wings silhouetted against the sun shoot over the top, sort of skimming the tops of the trees and the forests. A purple dragon seems to be out flying.
A purple dragon? Ooh, pretty. Wait.
So cute.
Can I make a check to try and see if I would know anything about these? Because obviously we know that some dragons are gooder and some are naturally badder. Is there a check I could make to see whether, in a general term of speaking, because obviously there are, like Hugo is like a chromatic dragon, and they are, it depends on how it's raised,
Yeah, you can make a check, if you like. Make a nature check for me.
Natur.
Yeah. 17. So you could probably guess that this was, based on that, an amethyst dragon. So that was, in looking at it, you only got a brief glimpse of it, but as it sort of flew over between some gaps in the trees. But you reckon it probably wasn't that old. Probably in sort of the, not a wormling, but probably a young dragon.
Okay.
But other than that, you can't really get much on sort of the nature of something like that until you've really met it and conversed with it.
Fair enough. I'll probably suggest we just keep predominantly out of sight then, because obviously if it's not a nice dragon, it's probably out hunting for some food or something, and I really don't fancy being someone's food for the second time in 12 hours. Yeah.
So, are you guys choosing to move at a slower, stealthier pace?
Potentially. Yeah. Does Arwen get any benefits of moving stealthily while in favored terrain or anything? Or
I do if I'm on my own.
I see.
I believe that can extend to the group.
If it can, that's great. Because if you are travelling alone, you can move stealthily at a normal pace.
Okay, then yes, you are right. It is only you who can. Yes,
When was that really bloody? Oh.
If we were dying.
I guess maybe if you're trying to investigate something or sneak up on something,
Yeah.
send your ranger off on their own.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. I don't mind. Maybe not necessarily slower, but just mindful of it.
Yeah.
So as the day wears on, you're sort of mindfully keeping an eye out in the sky above you, but you don't see any signs of anything at this point in time. And a few hours after you set off, you hear the sound of a waterfall in the distance, and heading towards it, you haven't quite got to it yet when you stumble across another of these abandoned villages. Again, you can see similarly, a lot of the buildings are dilapidated and dishevelled. There are fires and things growing up the sides.
Oh, fascinating. I'm just going to grab something 1 second.
How many houses are there?
It seems to have been a sizable village. There's quite a few houses about, of a few varying sizes. You can see. So there's a few huts of various sizes about.
We are sure it's abandoned, right? We don't want to use any scent or anything.
It very much looks abandoned. A couple of several of the buildings have collapsed roofs and things like that, and there are vines and ivy growing over a number of the properties as well.
You can get a better sense as to whether this thing is really abandoned, or if it's, or if there's anything hiding about. I've obviously got my divine sense for that. That goes to 60 feet. Not really great, and it's on fiends and fae and stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, you can see a number of buildings around you. They have sort of shutters over the window, and you can see that the frames are rotting, and sort of several of the shutters have sort of fallen down because the frames have rotted so much that they've pulled out and just shattered on the ground. Some of them have sort of doors open. There is a sort of as the wind softly blows through, there's a sort of as it blows through one of these huts. There's a hole in the wall, and the door just sort of bangs, sort of softly as it in its frame.
Can I look in some of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll an investigation check. Okay, so you find
20.
a lot of sort of discarded things. From the point of view, it seems like there are still things like wardrobes and beds, and those things scattered about. Whenever this place was abandoned and when the inhabitants left, they clearly left in such a way that meant they couldn't take big things with them. A few of the huts are sort of in disarray, the cupboard doors are sort of left open and bare. Whether or not that was because someone went through and stripped all the valuables out, or whether because the people left in a hurry, you're not sure. You find a few signs that give you a little bit more of a clue as to who the inhabitants were. Under one of the beds, you actually find a small box that hadn't been taken, and opening it up, you find a couple of pieces of quite nice silver jewellery, as well as a necklace that you recognise as a shark tooth necklace.
Oh, there was orcs here.
They're really far away from the sea.
Going through a number of the buildings, you find in one of them a larger, more central building. It seems to have been laid out as some form of mixed chapel. There are several nooks and alcoves around the outside of it, and there are stubs of sort of melted candles and things, and in each one there is a carved figure. A couple of them you recognise as the orc gods that you've seen before, but a few of them are unknown to you. Being elves, you'd know that the elves themselves don't hold a cohesive religion. Their society is very much one built built on logic and science and things like that, and they don't really hold with religion. So whatever these other idols and things are, you assume that they are not elven.
So it's not elven. There's in the elven forest, but there's also orc stuff here. Can I try and make a religion check to see what they might be?
Make a religion check.
This is going to be a huge plot point now, and I'm going to regret not picking religion. Oh.
Okay, so one of these figures you immediately latch onto and recognize Stix. This is a figure you haven't seen before, but you recognize the cornucopia that she is holding in her hands.
Ah! Zuriel, my old pal. Meal fruit. Meal codger.
It does look like it was indeed a idol worshipping Zuriel.
Ah!
You also find several others, and with a little bit of your knowledge about the human gods, you think the one is Salathiel, the god of the afterlife, who is a dark figure with it hooded and cloaked with like a hidden, so it's almost like imagine like a sort of Grim Reaper style figure, face completely hidden by this hood, and is carrying a staff made from interlinked bones that sort of stack up on top of each other.
Oh, jeez.
What was...
Salathiel.
What are they god of?
They are the god of the afterlife.
Cool. Thank you.
Salathiel. 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 I should have thought I was going to have to pronounce these out loud when I came up with them. There is also Ramiel, who is the god of the sky, who is I can't even pronounce the word now. Depicted, thank you, brain. Depicted, similar to the others, as a human figure standing tall and proud, and he is holding a staff which is like an elongated lightning bolt, so it zigzags backwards and forwards in his hand. You can see that all these staffs are carved from wood. However, the items they are holding, Zuriel's cornucopia, seems to be made out of actual bronze, and you can see it's shining brightly in her hands. Salathiel's bone staff does actually indeed seem to be made from small pieces of animal bone. Ramiel's lightning bolt seems to be carved from a piece of gold. And there is also one more, a god called Kavran, who is the god of crafts. And they are standing before an anvil, which has a small tool etched upon it, or sort of cast upon. This anvil seems to be made from quite a soft chunk of wrought iron, and etched in the shape on top of it is the shape of a little like a little scythe or a sickle, some sort of farming instrument in one hand, and the other hand is holding a hammer, and it's sort of hunched over this, but it has been painted in this sort of orange red paint which you can see is like flaking as it sort of rusts.
Well, that's pretty cool. Okay. I think I'll just get down, sort of bow to Zuriel's symbol a little bit. Is there any like offerings that I would know of for like, something I could like, put down that I think would be acceptable?
So Zuriel is depicted holding the cornucopia, which is a symbol of sort of plenty. In harvest times, people often offer things like wheat and grain. In the winter, they will often offer things like winter berries, or they will place like evergreen boughs at her altars.
Okay. I don't think I have any of that crap. So I will just offer my respect.
Yeah.
And leave it at that.
As you kneel down before this altar and say a few prayers, you just feel the wind outside picks up and the leaves on the trees just for a few seconds rustle backwards and forwards. And even though it's an insignificant sound, it comforts you in a small way.
Nice. Well,
And it is
on that note,
as you are praying before this altar, Stix, and Arwen and Klari are looking around, you hear once more the sound of these huge leathery wings, and there is a heavy boom on the ground as something large impacts the ground.
I knew it.
Dragon friend. Dragon friend.
Or dragon killer.
Looking outside, you do indeed see over off towards has landed sort of in a small clearing around the village and is walking off towards in the direction of the waterfall and the river. You can see this amethyst dragon sort of making its way through the huts and things.
Do we think it's seen us?
Make a perception.
No. Oh.
Perception.
Just Stix or everyone?
Everyone that would like to. Stix is absorbed in prey. It's possibly even unaware that there is a dragon nearby.
Oh, it is absorbed in the dragon.
Yeah. Oh, and you peek out through one of the windows, and while it's walking through, it passes quite close to the hut that you're in. It's a slightly larger building with all these alcoves carved on the inside. And it pauses and seems to sniff the air, its head turning and looking in one direction or another, and then it like lowers its head and starts sniffing around on the ground, as if it's searching for a scent of something or other.
I'm gonna hold on to Hugo.
Okay.
Give him a little hug.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Okay. Is anyone doing anything?
Yes. I would like to. Okay, if it's sniffing around, assuming I might have noticed it by now, I'm going to try and deter it from our location
Okay.
by using Druidcraft to make the smell of a skunk.
Okay. As you watch from the window, Arwen, you can see the dragon is sort of tracking across, and it seems to. You watch it sort of circle around, and it seems to reach a point where you entered into the village, and starts tracing the route that you remember taking. Oh yeah, you went to that hut first, and then you went into that one second, and seems to be following the scent trail. And then all of a sudden, it sort of starts to. It almost looks like it's retching as this small skunk that is absolutely foul and has permeated the entire building you're in, has eventually wafted across the village to it. And it
Could I,
chokes and gags.
as it's sort of like choking and gagging and stuff, could I then, also using Druidcraft, it says you can make the sound of a small animal?
Yeah.
Could I make the sound... It's not going to be like a skunk, it's just going to be like a general, like small animal noise. Just sort of
An animal like shuffling through.
Yeah, shuffling through in the other direction to Arwen and the thing there, and just to sort of see if that'll change its course.
Okay. So.
Because then if it's searching for someone specific, it will obviously go for them. But if it's searching for food,
so you're making the sound, sort of trying to make it a ways off. What's the range on Druidcraft?
The range on Druidcraft is 30 feet.
Okay, so if you guys...
So just like behind it
slightly
would be...
larger building, what I will do is... bring this out so that you can see where it is. It is sort of off over here, investigating where you first sort of entered. If you guys entered from this side over here, and maybe to this building first, it's sort of just investigating initially where you started from. So if you're in the sort of temple hut here, you've got about, where are you sort of aiming to cast if you've got 30 feet of range?
So we're in like this hut here, right?
Yeah.
I'd be like near this door trying to do this.
Okay.
So I think I would... So where's my door? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30? Probably get 30. I guess I'm going to have to sort of put it like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Kind of just like put it in the woods, like over here.
Yeah.
I guess. That would be the best way of doing it.
Yeah, okay. So you hear that, or you cast that, and you hear across the clearing this voice of this dragon goes, "Sweet Bahamut, what the fuck is that?" And this thing sort of turns around and rears up, and it flaps its wings, creating this gust in the direction of the sound you created. It's, making the assumption that the sound is also the source of the smell, and it's a kind of trying to dissipate this, and the smell.
I really want to be friends with...
Can I again? The skunk thing, not the small animal noise.
Yeah. Again, it starts to like sort of flap, and it slowly starts to move like backwards and away down in this direction. As it's sort of moving away from the source of what it guesses is the smell.
Alright. Well, that kind of worked. Ish. What do we do now?
Can I tell if it has good intentions or not?
Make an insight check.
Insight. Oh Christ.
Dragon, it's very hard to read. They are very different, even though you have a certain amount of understanding from Hugo. It is quite difficult to read, but you get the sense that it's not that its mood is quite placid at the moment, and it's not actively hunting anything. You've seen Hugo when you've sort of like tried to feed him, or when he's like hunted like little birds and squirrels and things that have been around when you've made camp. You know, he sort of like he gets a little bit cat-like in those times, and this isn't. You know, this is still sort of animalistic in nature, and you are able to pick up on that it does seem quite placid at the moment, although if maybe a little bit disgruntled by the horrific stink that it has been subjected to.
What was I going to say? I was going to say something else. And I've forgotten.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Can I? I feel like he's probably.
Oh, I remember now. Carry on. Sorry.
No, you go. I was just going to ramble.
Do I know if these sorts of dragons eat other dragons?
Make a nature check.
Okay.
You don't know. You think that some dragons may potentially eat other dragons. You don't know though. Kind of, it's just a guess that a dragon might eat another dragon if forced to.
Okay.
Klari, what are you up to while sort of Arwen's, while Stix is doing his druidcraft and so on?
Myself probably.
What are you guys going to do as a group? Are you going to try and sneak away undetected? Are you going to try and engage?
No, I'm not going to stick with the others.
I'm trying to decide whether, like, fuck it.
I'm definitely going to try and talk to it. If everyone else wants to stay in this hut and pretend they don't exist to stay safe, that's fine.
I feel like so this isn't like a huge dragon. Like, we can definitely tell this is a younger.
Yeah, I'm just also realising I've got the sizing wrong on it, so it is actually only about.
Oh, it's tiny.
Okay.
I thought it was going to be huge.
In which case, I'm definitely more prepared to say, okay, one of us shouldn't go out.
So if I
on their own.
a figure on the map, if I put Neo on the map just as a reference, so you guys are in that building.
If Clary used mirror image and spoke to it, at least then if it attacks her, it's not guaranteed to attack her.
It's a good point. I feel like we could do that and just sort of make ourselves seem like a bigger group.
Well, I mean more like because if you guys go out and it does attack, then like I feel like we're pretty screwed. But at least like Clary has a chance of not being hit by it.
That's a good point. So basically using you as bait. Cool. Go. Go. What are you doing that one?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So Clary, you cast mirror image on yourself,
Yeah.
and these 3 duplicates surround you, and then you step out to talk to it.
Yeah.
Okay. As you step outside, the dragon, which has gone back to sort of sniffing out this trail again, with an occasional glance over towards the source of Stix's druidcraft, turns in your direction, hearing you come out. And you hear this voice in your mind. Says, "Hello, who are you? There's quite a few of you."
Besties.
You know we're here.
Well, I can see 4 of you.
Hmm.
Yeah, right.
Sisters.
Yeah.
We are the one. We are the many.
Yeah, there's quadruplets, isn't it?
Spell does only last a minute, just FYI.
Cool. I'm gonna speed this up a bit, if you don't mind. Can't help but notice you're a dragon. So me and my sisters, we're just a bit worried that you're gonna eat us.
Oh no, I won't eat you.
Can I ask what you look like you're following a scent or something?
Well, yes, this village has been abandoned for so long, and then it's a good spot to land. Nice clearing and things, and just a short distance from my. I should know. No, there's no land near here. No, around 17. No. And so it's fine. Nothing.
Cool.
What are you doing here? This village has been abandoned for so long.
They're just
again, I suppose.
Yeah, we just stumbled upon it. It's seemed interesting. Did you know about this village prior then?
Oh well, yes. This used to be a lovely village, filled with people. I remember it from a long time ago. I was only a little wormling at the time, but yes, this village used to be filled with different sorts of humans and orcs and things, and a few elves and stuff.
Oh wow. What happened to all the people? Why did they leave?
Well, sort of cocks ahead at you. It's like, you're not an elf, are you? You look like one, but you're not quite one, are you?
No, I'm not. No.
Oh well, you probably don't know then, but you should be careful in the forest. You might be able to disguise yourself at a glance, but if any of the elves discover you, they will not be pleased by your presence.
I see.
The elves do not allow anyone else within the forest. Silly rule, really, but yes, it was something that happened a number of years ago now. The Great Old One. Roughly around this point, your duplicates will sort of disappear, and she was like, "Oh, what happened? There's 4 of you, and now there's none."
Yeah. It's a long story. They had to go quickly. You were saying it sounds like a good story.
Well, yes, it was quite some time. Maybe 150 years, something like that. The great protector of this forest was I'm a little bit fuzzy on the details. I never quite got the full story myself, but something happened to him and he was transformed, and the magic he instilled in this forest was turned on its head, and rather than giving life, he was a beautiful green dragon, and rather than giving life to the trees and the land around him, it started to wither and die in his presence. The elves discovered that this cult was responsible. He was tricked. He was ancient as ancient can be, and watched over the forest and things. And was tricked into, as a way to expand his protection. He knew he would pass on before long, but as a way he sought a way for his protection to linger after death. However, he was tricked into becoming something undead. The cult responsible was most of them ended up being slaughtered by him in his wrath as he was transformed, but the ones that weren't were captured and interrogated by the elves as they sought a way to restore the balance within the woods, and he was killed. They were all horribly killed. However, as a result, any non-elf being within the woods was cast out, and the elves marched in force upon the Great Protector, and they died by the thousands.
Jesus.
That's awful.
But
Is that why only elves are allowed in the forest still?
yes, they see the forest as sacred, and they are too sparse and too few to feel they can, if they feel as if they let others within their borders become too numerous, it would no longer be their lands. They feel their grip is tenuous. But, yes, and both Stix and Arwen, you would know that elven cities are generally few and far between, and the populations within them are very spread out. Unlike other cities you've come across where the population is quite densely packed together, the elves spread sort of far and wide, so their cities can be as big as other cities. However, the population is far lower.
We'll have heard all this going on, right?
Yes, this voice is almost projected mentally out. So rather than it being a voice spoken out loud, it is a voice spoken into your mind.
I'll step out at this point. Be like, hey, hi, how's it going?
Another one.
Another one.
And another one. Yeah. Welcome yourself. How's it going?
Well, it goes how it goes. Just searching for things, shiny things.
Shiny thing.
Ooh.
Well, as a dragon, I do like to collect things from time to time. Indeed, I do now. Now the forest is no longer under the protection of the Great Old One. It is caused somewhat of a strife amongst the dragon kind. Before, all of us were under the banner of, especially those of us as young as I, were under the banner of the Great Protector. And the ones that grew larger would move off, but with its death everyone controls their own little portion of the forest, and this one is mine. If you wish to pass through, I would gladly take a trinket or two of yours for my hoard.
I run out saying, yes! Rubies!
Since when you have rubies?
I have rubies.
Certainly kept that on bloody quiet.
I got them a few days ago.
When?
I don't remember, but apparently I've got them.
Oh.
Rubies!
So Arwen runs out, probably followed by Hugo.
which point the dragon, as you run out shouting rubies, dragon turns, yes, rubies would make a fine addition. A little bit, not quite as pretty as some other stones. But,
Oh, I thought you said you're not quite as fit.
yeah, they're not quite as pretty as some other stones, but they will suffice. Thank you. And sort of stands there and holds out a large claw towards you.
Okay, I mentally say to Hugo, just stay back there for a second. And then I go and hand 1 ruby to the dragon. Do I get kidnapped by a dragon?
How
You said
big-
you
how big
want
is
it
this
to
ruby?
happen.
I don't know, it's probably like that big.
Okay, so how much value of rubies have you got, and how much are you handing over? This is essentially the question.
Well, how many is... I have 100 GP of rubies, but I don't know how many that is.
So there's probably several smaller rubies.
Okay, I'll give him
How much did we?
25.
Okay, so it's probably like one of the rubies.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
So you place this ruby that's sort of like maybe like the size of a grape in your hand, but a bit flatter like a coin. You like when you place it in the palm of this dragon's claw with the talons and things, and you can see up close this dragon is incredibly beautiful. The sun like glitters off, and you can actually see that some of the spines up close that form over the crest of her head and down her back actually hover very slightly away from, and they seem to be made of this glowing or slightly glowing crystal. It glows softly in the sunlight, and they actually just almost with some sort of telekinetic force holding them in place.
Oh, Jesus, that's cool.
Ruby!
Yeah, and so when you place it in the palm, it goes from being, a reasonable size in your palm to being absolutely tiny. And she looks down and goes, "Wow, that's magnificent. I love it. Thank you.
Welcome.
What's your name?"
Arwen,
Arwen. Nice to meet you.
what's your name?
Me? Why? I am... I am Sal Laham.
Say again?
Aha.
Sal Laham.
So,
Surrl.
Surrl.
L apostrophe Ham. Laham.
H.
So, Laham.
Dragon that is purple and
Amethyst dragon.
can talk in my head. Cool. Hello.
She like lowers her head to the ground and like looks like almost like through her legs at you and says, "And who are you, little one? You are
This
very
is-
small indeed."
Hugo. He is my boy.
My boy.
This is your... Are you? You do not seem... You do not...
Adopted
Ah, of course.
child.
Of course.
Family's family, though, you know.
Indeed, yes. I differ very greatly from some of my neighbours and siblings in various parts of the forest. But we are all dragon kin.
Yes, I am too dragon kin of this dragon.
I have a question. So how far have you been? Like, from your totally not a lair? from here, I'll say, instead, because I wouldn't have heard that lair bit. How far have you been from from here? How far have you seen around these lands recently?
Oh, well, I fly quite a distance each day, so maybe 50 miles is a day I can fly. I like to survey all the area around.
And have you seen anything
Like the green dragon
or
happened.
dark? Pardon, sorry?
It's basically the same as the green dragon thing that she was saying before.
Well,
Yeah.
the northern areas of the forest, towards the centre where the Great Protector used to keep his lair, or he had many, but that's where he spent most of his time. And his influence would spread out from there. Being old as he was, he would sleep most of the time, and let his power wash out over the land. But,
Is he alive?
no, my dear, he was the one that was killed. He turned into the undead, and the elves were forced to kill him in order to save the forest.
Where did they put him?
I believe they left him there, and
Okay.
surrounded by their fallen. The area of the forest is covered in spirits and wraiths. No, I choose to stay out here, far away from all of that.
That's not terrifying at all.
I'm putting a theory together that this cult learned what Big Dread King Man did, and then did the same thing to this dragon guy, because the dark making everything bad in the forest thing is what Neo's dad does at the moment, and that's the same thing that happened to the dragon man. But Neo's dad was alive 4,000 years ago, or whatever it was.
And when was this?
150 years ago
150
was the dragon.
years ago.
So it's like this cult that likes
Yeah.
the bad stuff.
Okay.
I'm thinking. Bit of a reach, but it's the same thing.
It's a bit
so
of a
it's
reach
like,
only because of the time difference. Because obviously we were the ones who opened up the thing to find Neo and all this stuff, and we haven't really found anything or anyone who knows much about this stuff from before.
well,
but
maybe
then-
this cult no,
We
because
have
cults
found
are weird.
Weird shit. Yeah, we have found weird stuff. And it's not to necessarily say that we aren't the only people who've looked into this. Obviously, I'm sure there are like records and stuff from back when Neo's dad was alive and
Yeah,
about him, which we probably should have looked up by now.
I think we've tried to, but
I
nowhere
think we
has it.
tried, but we didn't put it in the right place.
Consider modern day history. Things that happened 5,000 years ago, there is very little written record of
It's just archaeological digs.
because of technology. Now, you can kind of assume that things would be a little bit more advanced than cavemen, so they would have more records. They would potentially have had, an organised society and things like that, but it might not have been so civilized or so mechanically or magically advanced. So if you think maybe in terms of the last 1,000 years of human civilization spread over 5,000 years of Kavran,
That's cool.
with some magic sprinkled in there as well. Magic
Okay.
developed similar to technology and engineering and things like that. Magic is a little bit like science in that way. Higher level practitioners can invent new magic and come up with new techniques and things like that. You've met Matilda,
Nice.
who does that sort of thing. She tries to combine spell effects in order to get them to do what she wants. So, records, I'm just saying that
they're probably...
The records that are there will be few and far between.
And we've seen some weird shit. We've seen some very unlikely shit. And yeah, no, they could. It is possible that they could have found something like this and done something with it. But
who knows? We'll put stuff together as we go. It's a good working theory.
exactly. And I mean, this cult isn't like back now, are they? It's not like a thing.
Oh, I think.
So I guess that's not really something we need to necessarily worry about.
Well, you know, cults, they do like to rise and fall from time to time.
What is that noise?
If they're
Oh, the car.
not so welcomed in a place, they'll scurry underground and pretend to be gone or lost, only to rise somewhere else. Sometimes with a different name or a different agenda, but they often have the same call, same history.
Oh God. This is
This is true.
How old are you?
Neo will
Sorry.
of pipe up and say, well then, there was that tomb we went in that had some like weird dragon-y...
Yeah, there was that tomb where they were talking about Tiamat and Sadio, Bahamut, and this guy was trying to like augment himself into a dragon, which was creepy as fuck. And I'm assuming that was like some kind of cult. So I guess, you know,
Yes,
you never know.
Sounds like they had similar agendas, or maybe just different methodologies.
Yeah, you might be right there.
Maybe it has nothing to do with...
Maybe, but it is still a pretty dark thing that obviously we don't really want. Might have to just keep an ear out for.
Yeah. What about... Oh, hold on. No, carry on.
So you haven't seen any, like, big undead army roving these places? You know? Any undead at all?
Well,
Running around?
very occasionally spirits and things will wander from the battlefield. I was tracking one of the spawn. There was so much latent magic and things that sometimes things creep through from other places and things spawn and into the forest. I do like to act as a sort of protector of these regions, even if there aren't many people in it. But I was tracking one of them that has eluded me for a little bit of time now. It seems to devour anything it comes across.
So an undead thing that devours anything it comes across.
Like trees and stuff?
No, it seems to have an insatiable hunger to consume.
Oh! I think we know what that was, and I think we killed it. Right before it nearly ate me. It was just wandering the forest. And, yeah. And it found us, like, in the middle of the night. And it put a pretty tough fight. But we got it eventually.
You must be mightier than you seem at first glance, little warrior, to overcome
Oh,
these
little warrior.
Oh. Wait, no, that's not good. Or is it good? Anyway, thank you. Or not thank you. I'm confused. This circle doesn't work anymore. Fuck. I broke it. Okay, well, is there anything else you wanted to ask this guy? Like, so he was. Why were you looking for this hungry thing?
Well, as I said, I like to keep a protective watch over these lands, and a few unnatural denizens that escape from time to time. I wouldn't want anyone. Well, as you seem quite formidable to have survived an encounter with such a thing. But think of the common man, the farmers and what have you. If he happened to be alone in the woods, such a thing would make a meal for him, quite literally.
Do you know if there is any more beings like this around that you know and that you've been trying to get rid of? I mean, we're pretty good at protecting stuff, and I certainly would like to see these forests protected.
I tracked 2 such things for a time before, as they entered my domain, if you will. But one of them I devoured, the other I lost. And my little birds could not tell me where they were.
Birds!
Your little birds?
Indeed, all the birds and the beasts in this area are known to me. They speak to me and they tell me things.
So you're trying to find some creatures which are like the thing that we just found, but they're hidden somewhere. That...
Well, not everything is...
well, not necessarily hidden,
I
but...
do not know every square inch, but it does sound that, although it eluded me, it found you, which was fortunate for me and not for it.
Hmm. But there's still something else out there. Hmm?
There were 2. He ate 1.
Oh, he ate one and then we got the other one.
Yeah, she ate one
Right.
and you
Cheese.
guys got the other one.
See. Well,
So for the
That's-
time being, she's not aware of anything but...
okay. Cool. I mean, in which case... Don't really know, don't know what else to say to you, Mrs. Dragon Woman.
I have one more question.
Yes, my dear?
Please, can we be friends?
Aw.
Of course.
Dragon friend, dragon friend, dragon friend, dragon friend.
You have given me a gift as you have passed through my lands.
Stay in touch. We can have, you know, we can stay over in each other's lairs and stuff, and you know, have sleepovers and it'll be great.
Yes, of course. Mine is not that way.
Okay. I won't
Towards
remember.
The sound of rushing water.
We don't have a lair.
Well, I will make a lair.
It will be a very depressing lair.
Well, Hugo's gonna grow up one day and he's gonna need his own lair.
That's a very good point. I guess we've never really thought of that.
One day. He's not growing up yet.
Yeah. Well, one day when he grows up, we'll get him his own little lair. Oh my god, it'll be like sending your kid off to college.
Oh
You
no,
know,
I can't. No.
We'll get all of his little jewellery that he's collected and bring it in little boxes into this lair. All right, now if you need anything, you can give us.
Oh my God, I'll cry. This is
Keep
amazing.
this place tidy and don't be so shy. Get out of here every now and then. We need the sun. God.
Okay, I'll come round soon, and we can, yeah. Oh my God, fun.
Well, in that case, it seems like I can enjoy a far more enjoyable meal today. I was saving room for a little horrible monster, but I think I shall enjoy something nice.
Well, there we go.
She, like, sort of rears back and spreads these huge wings, and as she does so, they are slightly translucent, and the sun shining through them casts like purple shadows across the ground. That sort of ripple, and as she turns her wings and starts flapping, and in short order takes off and is out of sight, flying off over the trees.
Bye!
She sort of flies off towards the sound of the waterfall, and then sort of quite sharply turns and 180s in the air and flies in the other direction.
He's great.
Bye.
I think that might be a good moment to call it there.
Yeah, probably.
Well, she was nice.
Alright, well.
But we can pick things up next week.
Yes.
And you guys continue on your journey.
Yes. Oh, fantastic. Oh, look at that. Spoke to another dragon.
Indeed. Who knows
Yeah.
what else lies in your future.
Dragon friend.